I find that people start conversations not understanding the terms they use to frame their arguments. Besides advocating collective or governmental ownership, socialism is a bad word in America. The idea that people came to America to be free only to end up having the government take their money and make choices for them seems completely counterproductive to the risk immigrants took in getting to America. Most of the time, Americans claim capitalism as the form of economic system that goes with the United States democracy. Even though we haven't really had a pure capitalist system anywhere in the world, the United States has come the closest in certain industries for brief periods of time. It is always a matter of time till the government regulates the free out of the free market. Once the government establishes the rule of law between citizens and the courts by which the laws are enforced, the government has done all it needs to do to create a free market. At that moment, people can enter into contracts with each other to trade. Problem is, when the government sees that a market is becoming too profitable, it wants to regulate it in order to get its piece of the market. It often does so without adding value to the transaction. Liberal comes from the word liberty, which is synonymous with freedom. Somehow in American politics, liberal came to mean socialist, do-gooder, and naive. Liberal is the ideology of the founders of this country. They didn't want anything close to socialism. They wrote the Constitution to tell the citizens all the things the government couldn't do. They intended for the government to have all the limitations in order to maximize the citizens' individual freedom. Conservative is a very unusual description for politics, especially for the current political field in the United States. The preservation of the United States is the preservation of the Constitution, and the tradition that is America is derived from the constitutional foundation. Today, being conservative is too closely linked to being Republican, and Republican is associated to the police state, moral superiority from Christian ideology, corporate welfare, and warmongering. Progressive or progressivism seems like the most misused term in the United States as a way to describe one's political agenda. Everyone knows what progress is, and ironically, a progressive is someone who wants regressive policies which are based in socialist tendencies, like health care for all, free money, and as many entitlements as the population can afford. How is this progress to think anyone in the United States should be limited to what the government can provide? We are meant to be free people, free as in unlimited, not free as in handout. Throughout the world, there has been government suppression for centuries where the people took what they were given and didn't have the right to complain. In the United States, the citizens have been given full control over their lives, and the progressives think that it is progress to give up your freedom and wait around for the government to hand out the cheese, Band-Aids, and jobs. The United States is progress, of which the world hasn't ever seen before and hasn't seen since. Communism is not synonymous with socialism. In socialism, you might not work or get paid, and you might get paid for sitting on your ass. In communism, you are guaranteed a job and guaranteed pay. If you can't work, you are completely useless to the community you work for, and thus you are a drain on that community. This sort of uselessness has no place in communism, which is why I don't think Russia ever completely was communist and never made it past socialism. In a socialist system, you have a class system. In communism, everyone is the same. Communism is good in theory, but doesn't work out because it is human nature to compete and differentiate from your neighbors. We have a need to be special, or at least believe we should have a chance to seem special. Communism doesn't care or favor standing out or being exceptional. Except for the smallest village, communism probably hasn't existed in its true form. I think that's what it has in common with capitalism.